Hello and welcome to DMX Canadian Motocross Weekly presented by Renegade Fuels. I'm Billy Rainford and this is James Lissamore, and it is Saturday night here at the Walton TransCan. It is all wrapped up, well, almost all wrapped up. I believe they're actually over there giving out a few of the last minute awards. Are they not, James?
Yeah, it looks like they're just giving out the bronze boot and probably wrapping up the last couple classes, and everyone's going to go their way and have some fun.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're saving the last one for when the text comes in for who actually gets the bronze boot. So we want to get this going here, but it was a long, long week of racing. The weather was great all week until a little bit today.
Till this afternoon.
Yeah, things kind of, we could see it kind of, I was standing in the tower with Jake Lee, head referee Jake Lee, and we're standing there watching, and you could see this huge front coming over to the north of us, and it almost looked like it was going to miss us, but it just kept coming closer and closer. Then he got word that there was going to be a very strong but short windstorm, so they...
And then, well, the lightning started striking.
And then there was the lightning strikes too, and there's a few 100-foot crane up in the air too.
Yeah,
they decided to pull that down.
Bring that down. I mean, the banners hanging off it were blowing vertical or horizontal, so that wasn't good.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously it's the last day at Walton, so all the final crowns were last day of amateur racing. Yeah, so all the championships were settled, and we've got a pretty good list here. We just kind of want to go through just to give you guys an idea of what happened here. Obviously, James has got a nice photo report up, but we want to go through. We're going to go through each and every class and just give you the winners in that in each one there. So we'll kind of
touch on the weather. Actually, one of the classes didn't get a chance to wrap up. They had to shorten their moto out of it.
Yeah, final race of the day, which was which we'll certainly get to there. The MX2 Intermediate started the show this week and finishes the show, but
tried to finish the show.
Tried to finish the show, but they had to only go to a two-moto format.
Yeah, the rain came down hard. There was lightning, thunder. It was the right call. It was the right call.
Yeah.
Safety's got to come first.
Safety comes first. But yes, let's just jump right into it here. We've got lots of other stuff to talk about too. We've got our final race of the season for the pros on Sunday as well. Lots of exciting stuff there to talk about, as well as a few more things. So we'll just kind of jump. We're going to go through it in order of how they actually went. So yesterday, a couple championships were settled. Super Mini went first, and that went to BC's Jess Pettis, number 39 out there.
Yeah, no, I was happy to see him. He came a long ways, all the way from Prince George, BC, and they came last year, and he learned how the program went and what he needed to work on. They went home, they worked hard, and I mean, I know a lot of people where I live really support the kid, and you can see why. He's a great family, and it was awesome to see him to win the championship. It was cool last night. We wanted to interview him for the show, and his dad, he wasn't there, and his dad, he was doing everything he could to find him, riding his bike around, going to everybody's pits looking for him. That's just how dedicated they are. They know that all this exposure helps them out in the long run.
Yeah, really nice kid. He's obviously still young, but he to get his third class, he was also signed up into the schoolboy class. And his dad said, "Listen, you've done the two classes that we were here to do. If you want to run that third moto in schoolboy just to kind of see how it goes, then it's up to you. Go for it." And of course, being a young kid, he lined up. So he went out there, and they just said, "You know what? Let them go. They're on 125s, whatever. Just go. You're on your 85. You're on your Super Mini there, whatever." So yeah, just go out and do what you can. Try to get top 10 if you can.
Well, I kind of found it funny too. He was actually out there battling with Weston Rosina, who he battled with in the 80
Yeah, it's funny how they found each other, isn't it? Yeah, it was for sure. Weston out there on his little four-stroke. But the second title given out yesterday was the plus 25. There was not too much question as to who was going to win that one.
Why? Who was going to win?
We had world champ Julian Bill here in that race. So yesterday he went 1-1-1 in that. So he was number 2 out there. And
I think he won by a combined total of about 6 minutes. A
combined total of perhaps 6 minutes for 3 motos. Yeah, impressive. So again, we're going to touch on that later, but it's going to be interesting tomorrow to see where the heck he finishes and why wouldn't he win the thing, right?
Probably the biggest question of this whole weekend is where's Julian Bill going to stack up? I mean, he looks fast. He's beaten some decent guys, but I mean, it's going to be a totally different ball game when you got Colton Fasciotti and Dusty Cladd and Teddy Mayer, Matt Gerke, all those guys on the track. So.
Yeah, for sure. And he's trying to stay humble too, because I point blank asked him where does he think he's going to finish, and he just said he'd be happy to do well. So anyway, we'll see tomorrow. Weather is a bit suspect, so who knows who's going to be a good mud rider. I mean, I'm guessing he's probably a good mud rider.
I would say that most people that race in Europe are good mud riders. I mean, it's kind of a calling card of the GP series, so I would think that the mud's probably not going to affect him either way.
Right, so he'll be running the number 225 on tomorrow, so we'll watch for him. But Then we moved on to today. Obviously, they all wrapped up today. They were all final motos today. The first moto of the day was the Vet Master class. That went to number 105, Chuck Mesley, who is racing as well tomorrow.
Yeah. Chuck just turned 30. He's his first year in the Vet Master class, and battling his buddy Galdi out there, and he came out on top.
Yeah, I talked to him this afternoon asking about tomorrow, how he's feeling. He said he felt great. He's looking forward to getting at it, getting out there with his buddies again, and hitting at the pro level. And I bet he starts out quite well, but there's just no possible way he can be as fit as he always was, kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's just no way. So expect for him. I would say he starts with a good start and ends up doing pretty well. I think he'll be pretty happy. The next moto was Youth. That was a cool class to watch and listen to.
Yeah, it was a good class.
Yeah, Josh Woods out there in his 05. I know we've touched on this before, but on his 2005 CR250 two-stroke.
He was good, and Davey Fraser won the moto today.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Davey won the moto today. He actually won the first youth moto of the week too, and probably would have won the championship. He was actually in the second moto. He was working his way into second. Josh was ahead a little bit, and that was when he had Quebec rider Dave Blanchette actually land on the back of him, and he didn't crash, but the bike was hooked in the back of his bike. He had to stop, pull the bike out that was stuck in his bike, and didn't get going until he was way back, so he lost a lot of positions. But I mean, his 1-2-1 would have beat Josh's 4-1-4 that ended up taking the
4-1-4 took the championship. Interesting. Yeah, Dave Blanchette, come on, buddy. We're giving you all this coverage with your amazing scrubbing skills. But yeah, you get to got up and kind of got angry with poor Davey Fraser when Davey was in front. So I'm not really sure, but anyway, the kid's got a lot of skill though, that Blanchette. So I'm expecting some good things out of him.
How about Josh? First off, wins the class on a two-stroke and a stock 250 two-stroke, and he's the winningest TransCan rider now in history. That's it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, he's from Michigan, but he raced a lot in Canada. He raced the TransCan coming up, went to the States, raced for factory KTM, had some good rides, podium Supercross. Now he's retired. He's helping his parents run Georgia practice facility, and he comes up every year and just has fun and just goes out there and rides. Like I say, he even didn't feel like riding a four-stroke anymore, so he went and bought a two-stroke. And
that's exactly what I was going to touch on. That's the whole reason he said he wasn't having fun riding his big four-stroke, so he asked his dad to find him a two-stroke 250, and that's what he did. And he's back to having fun, and he went out and won on. Even pulled a hole shot on his. I mean, that just sums the whole thing up to me. I mean, if you can hole shot on a 250 against all the 450s, like, well,
yeah, but he said he hole shot because he got a massive jump.
Well, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you got to? Okay. Well, anyway, I'm just saying. I think two-strokes are still competitive at certain levels.
Yeah, for sure. I think age classes and fun classes, it's a great bike. I mean, personally, that's what I'd ride.
Okay, well, let's move on to the 85 12-16 class. There was some domination there. He did have to work pretty hard on a couple of them, but going 1-1-1 was number 78 Weston Rosina. That was pretty good to see. So congratulations to him.
Good too. I mean, he came in on he was on the wait list and came in on the standby and won the whole thing.
Yeah, won the whole thing. He wanted to get into Super Mini, but he didn't get into that one. So he raced 12-16 and the schoolboy class. But 65 7-9, little Nick Cryer took that one, number 198. So congratulations to him. Moving on to Vet Junior. Interesting little bit of story here. We touched on this before, but Rick Argue, number 76, took that. But remember yesterday there was kind of a weird thing that happened. When he woke up and was going to put gas in his bike, and he looked into his Yamaha, and at the top it was full of sugar. So someone jerk.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like, who would do that? It's just kind of, especially for a Vet Junior Championship. Like, really, you have to do that? Yeah. So some jerk had filled his gas tank, not filled it, but added at least a cup of sugar to his gas tank. So luckily he saw it because he was going to fill it up. But and because of that, it's funny because Julian Bill's mechanic actually knew about it. He was friends with them and actually put tape with X's on it and everything on his tank just to be sure nobody's touched his gas tank before Julian got out on the track. Moving out to, I thought this was a really good race too. The MX3 Intermediate. That race there, the final moto here, we had two guys tied. Stanley Clare and Brad Dool were tied for second behind number 215, Zach Deanna, and it got crazy. So obviously they had to finish and everything because of the points they were down, but Brad Dool had it, and then he fell. Zach Deanna had to make two more passes but wasn't able to. Stanley Clare made a really good pass on Drew Roberts. Drew may have a different opinion on that, but turns out the whole thing went down. Brad Dool fell. Stanley Clare took the win and the overall, so it went to Stanley Clare in a pretty exciting class, I thought. So that's that. And then the MX2 Junior A, number 63, RJ Marnock ended up taking that one. Yeah, RJ Marnock had a great week. He was up there and pretty much every class he was in.
Yeah, every time I seemed to be up there taking pictures of the podium, it was always like, hey, there's RJ Marnock, either in first, second, or third, obviously podium. So spent a lot of time up there, lots of speech practice. Next, 85-7 to 11. They were also tied going into the third. The two top runners. That was little DeConnick and little Bujold. I'm not sure how we say his name. Pardon me?
Bujold, maybe?
Bujold, yeah, that's probably it. Bujold, number 456. A nice family, actually. They were tied going into it, and if you remember, we spoke yesterday about little Cole DeConnick being black flagged yesterday because of a suspected chin strap infraction. Turns out it was done up just a bit long and perhaps maybe loose, I don't know. But great race to watch, actually, and Cole DeConnick did take that win. So 85-7 to 11 did go to number 157, Cole DeConnick. Plus 40. That was
40. The Matt Crown show again. I mean, we talked about earlier in the week though, and Gino Aleri came out of nowhere from Quebec and just gave Matt Crown everything he could handle, even passed him, led for a bit, but in the end, I mean, Matt's won a ton of championships at Walton, and he knows how to get it done, and he did it again.
Yeah, it was funny because even Matt, you could tell, and people were running to the fences in that one where we're like, who is this guy? Everybody's running to the fences like, who's passing Matt Crown? So that was kind of interesting to watch. But yeah, 1-1-1. We're used to seeing, well, it was the Matt Crown show. We were kind of expecting to see maybe a bit of the Matt and Joey Crown show, but Joey will be back next time for sure, as he's pretty much ready to get back on the bike right now, I would think. But moving on to one of the smaller classes, the 54-6. I'm pretty sure little number 391 took that one. He won the first two motos. I'm not 100% sure on the last one, but we're going to give it a little number 391. MX1 Junior, number 202. Something interesting there too.
St. John, BC, another BC boy. First time out to Walton, and yeah, he did good. That was weird. That was actually the storm that rolled in. The lightning started striking, and it got really windy, and they made the decision to red flag the race. And they actually it would have been the white flag when they threw the checker, but the guy they had just gone by him and the guy in second, so the third place guy got the checkered, and they had to do a complete another lap. So he won the race, but he was one of the last guys to come off the track. Whenever
that happens, if the third place guy gets it and first and second go off with an extra lap, what if the second guy had passed him, and if that changed the situation?
Well, I believe
that's still racing, right?
Would still,
so that lap is still a race,
that lap
obviously.
Is still a race, yeah.
So okay, that would have been awful for someone to lose a title like that.
Yeah, Davenport held him off and took the win, and with that win, took the overall in the class.
Yeah, so that was pretty good to watch. We talked with him yesterday at the Rider Roundup, so
yep,
seems like a really nice kid.
And they came out, the Franklin family and the Davenport family, and they all drove out here from Fort St. John, way up northern BC, and yeah, he seemed to really be enjoying himself out here, having a lot of fun and just checking it out. He just thought the event was cool. It's you know, a lot bigger than anything we've got back home.
Yeah, I'd never met him before, and it was actually just when we met him yesterday. It was actually seems like a really nice kid, good future to him too. Ladies class. Looked like it was going to completely be the Dene Giroux show, but the last moto had a little bit of an interesting twist.
Well, we kind of had two motos that were interesting. I mean, we talked on it yesterday.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, true.
Wheel to wheel, and then today it was Kate McCarroll that stepped up instead and pressured Dene. Dene was out front and caught her and managed to put a pass on her and get the win.
Yeah. I mean, Dene knew she didn't have to beat her,
for
so
sure,
I mean, not sure how.
Playing it safe, definitely.
But yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing Cassie Boone get in there too. She seems really nice too. Meeting her yesterday with the Rider Roundup as well and stuff like that, and her style. If you're out watching any of the women's races, watch for Cassie Boone, number 79, just whipping it all over the place. You know, getting it all sideways over the natural double. So look for her to be doing well in the future. Let's MX1 Intermediate. Is that the one that I guess was the Brad Duel?
Intermediate's the Brad Duel. Brad was kind of expected to be pretty dominant in intermediate, and he kind of had an up and down week, but MX1 he didn't. He was on it the whole time. Went 1-1-1, won every moto for the clean sweep.
Yeah, it looked good, and I was surprised in that class. MX1 Intermediate, there's only half the gate was full there.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys coming up are they're running the 250F, and they. It's a lot of money racing and stuff, so I guess, plus they're younger and maybe they don't want to risk getting hurt. I don't know. True. Yeah. Just it definitely wasn't as full as it's been in past years, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then
was Brad on the 350 there, or was he on a 450?
You know what? I don't want to speak because I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was on the 350, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think with KTM that could be good for a lot of these guys to have the bike that's not quite as much of a handful. Yeah,
I'm sure, but I can't say for sure, but I think he was. But after that was the Schoolboy. That was also
my favorite sounding class of the week.
Oh, hey, you don't gotta tell me, that's my favorite as well for sure. But it was number 371 from Pennsylvania came up, and he was actually kind of talking on the podium that he well, I think Ryan was kind of joking with him about racing pro, kind of saying, "Oh, you think you're fast? Why don't you line up for pro?" And the kid said, "You know, I might."
Yeah, Odell. Yeah, he was good. He was on it, and yeah, he was out there on a Suzuki ripping it up, and we really thought this was going to be. I mean, him and Dylan Wright were kind of the guys, and Dylan had a few struggles, but still won one moto.
Yeah. Good to see Dylan out there. Oh, it's good to see the two-strokes out there. Every other one, Dylan was usually almost the only one on a two-stroke. But this one, of course, the only two-stroke out there would have been Weston Rosine on his little 150.
Four-stroke.
Yeah, four-stroke. I'm sorry. Yeah. But 57 to